If my eyes look red, I'm not high. I just have really bad allergies. So. Hi guys, it's Nisa. Today I'm going to be talking about my 2024 TBR in reading goals. 2023 was the first year that I actually got back into reading properly since I was like a kid, and it was really fun. I ended up reading 76 books, which is huge for me. I kind of wanted to read all kinds of genres to really figure out what I liked, and I ended up reading like lit fic, a bit of romance, a bit of fantasy, manga, graphic novels. I read a lot of things based on just little recommendations that I saw online and stuff, but this year I kind of want to focus more on books that I know I'm gonna like and that really interest me, and I'm gonna focus more on quantity over quality. So my goal for this year is 50 books. I don't really care about that number as much as I did last year. Last year I set a goal for 25 books because I was like, I want to read more. And I have read like triple that. So this year I really want to focus on books that could really turn into some of my favorite books, and I'm really excited. I really want to focus on reading more fantasies, classics, and lit fic books that have weird concepts. Like a really silly concept is what I like in a book, so I'll at least be entertained even if I don't love it. So what I kind of discovered from last year is that I've just been craving reading stories, like stories that I could just get lost in, like fantasy and stuff like that, and like series. So I have a few books that I definitely want to read this year. I'm really prioritizing reading them, and I'm really excited to get into them. So the first one I have is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I love this author. I have read this one before, and I absolutely loved it. Even though I've only read this book by him, he's like one of my favorite authors, and I really want to read more of his backlog this year. I realize there's a ton of it. Basically this series, so I have the first two books, My Heart is a Chainsaw and then Don't Fear the Reaper, and the third one of this trilogy, Indian Lake trilogy, comes out this year. I can't remember what it's called right now, but I kind of want to make a vlog of maybe reading all three of these, and I'm so excited because I read this one in 2022, I think, and it's kind of like a slasher horror book. It follows this high school student named Jade, and she is obsessed with slashers, and she believes there's a slasher happening in her own hometown, so she's trying to like investigate that, and each chapter is broken up by an essay she writes about slashers to her history teacher, and it's just really well written, and I'm so excited to get into this series again because I've just been putting it off. Like, you know, when you really want to read a book and you know you're gonna love it, but you keep putting it off because there's just other books and you don't want to, like, you just feel like you don't want to have the attention span, but I need to get into it. So I'm super excited for these. I know they're going to be so good. I'm so excited. And then the next book that I need to read in 2024 has been on my TBR for like since I got back into reading, and that is Babel. I think it's Babel, by R.F. Kuang. I read Yellowface last year and I enjoyed it, but I really want to see what this is about. I really want to get more into fantasy, and I've just heard such good things about this one, and I know I'm just gonna get wrapped up in it, so I absolutely need to read this, hopefully in the first half of the year. I've just been putting it off because it's really intimidating, but I really want to get to this. I think it'll be one of my favorites, I'm hoping. So yeah. And then the next one is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I actually had to read this book in high school, I think like sophomore year, and I remember parts of the story and I remember liking parts of it, but I obviously didn't really get it as much. But I know my brother loves this book. This is one of his favorite books. I know his writing is just so good. He describes nature really well. I know this has a lot of really good character studies, and it spans a long period of time, which I also really want to prioritize this year because I love long books that span a lot of different characters and generations and time. I think they're really interesting. So I really want to get to this. Also, this cover is just beautiful. The orange penguin classics, I love it. It's so pretty. I really want to get to this soon, and I just can't wait to get back into this story because I remember it being really good and really interesting, and I'm excited. I also want to read more nonfiction this year. I read nonfiction last year. I read mostly memoirs for nonfiction, but I want to get more into kind of political nonfiction and activist nonfiction this year. So I want to read Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Y. Davis. Angela Davis actually used to be a professor at the school I went to, UC Santa Cruz. So I just love her. She's awesome. She's amazing, obviously. I really want to learn more about all these topics and just get back into that kind of social justice mindset that I had at school. I've just been like, not that I haven't been paying attention, but I've just been off my game with academic stuff, and I really want to learn about it and be educated. So I can't wait to read this. I know she's an incredible writer, and yeah, I'm very excited for this. And then I also want to read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is a trilogy. I only have the first one, but I probably will buy the rest if I like it. I've heard mixed things about this since it's kind of like a YA romantasy, and I don't read romantasy. I'm like kind of put off by some of the popular ones. But this one just seems like a fun fairy tale to read, and it only has 3 books, so I feel like it won't be too difficult to get through, and I just feel like it'd be a fun read, and just to get into kind of a fairy tale story would be fun for me. So I'm hoping I like it. Maybe I'll do a vlog for it, I'm not sure, but yeah, that's another one. And then there's some books I don't own. I either will buy them or get them from the library. There is Death Valley by Melissa Broder. I know she's the one that wrote The Pisces. I haven't read that yet, but Death Valley just sounded really interesting to me when I read about it. It's kind of like I think it's set in the desert, and it kind of just goes off the rails, which I love. And the cover is just like so pretty. This one just sounds like it'd be really fun to read. And then I really want to prioritize this because I want to watch the movie after I read the book, but I really want to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And then I want to reread the Hunger Games series because I haven't read it since I was like in middle school, I think. And I just want to get back into my Hunger Games era because oh my god, I was so obsessed with the Hunger Games in high school, specifically the movies. I think when I read the books before, I was too young to fully understand everything, especially what was happening in Mockingjay. I was like, I didn't understand everything that was going on, so I really want to read those again and really understand them as an adult. And I've just heard great things from other adults rereading them now. I just want to get fully back in the mode of the Hunger Games and read the new one and watch the movie, and I'm so excited. I really want to get to those. And then the last specific book I want to read is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. Susanna Clarke also wrote my favorite book of 2023, which is Pure Nessie. So of course I want to read her other book. This one is like really long. It's like 1,000 pages, I think. I don't really know what it's about, but I trust it, and I've heard good things. The Game of Tomes book club by Emma and Carolyn have that book club on YouTube, and they're actually reading this book in, I think, June, so maybe I'll just read it with the book club and then I'll be able to participate and it'll be fun. I just know whoever wrote Pure Nessie, probably I would read anything else they read, so yeah. And then a few authors that I definitely want to read at least one book this year is Toni Morrison. I read Sula by her last year, and I absolutely loved it. Her writing is so amazing, and I bought The Bluest Eye recently, so I really want to read that one at least. And then James Baldwin also. I have this book of short stories by him, Going to Meet the Man, so I want to read that. I also want to read Giovanni's Room by him if I can get my hands on it, because I obviously have heard amazing things about this author. These are like modern classics, and I really want to get into that. And then yeah, I really want to try to continue making some more videos. I want to make some vlogs. There's one specific series that I kind of want to make a vlog of revisiting that I read in middle school, and I want to see if it holds up, but that'll be later. I'm really excited for this year of reading. I'm so glad I'm fully back in my reading mode, and I want to make time for it still this year. Very excited to read books that I think I'm really gonna like and talk about them here. So thanks for watching this short little video. I hope you have had a good start to the reading year as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!